Hi everybody, welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. I'm Courtney.
I'm Jenna.
And today we have a good episode that we're excited about. It's one on blank apparel. And so Jenna and I have traveled to a lot of trade shows throughout the years, and we've got to know a lot of blank apparel suppliers. And I think it's something that a lot of decorators are always looking for, how to find the right blank, how to find the right supplier, find ones that are local to you. And so today we're going to cover a lot of the brands that are popular and how to choose the right blank for your business. And so we've got an exciting episode as usual.
Of course.
Jenna's actually just back from the Everything Embroidery Market show. So good show so far?
Yeah, it was really great, and it was really nice visiting Chattanooga and just kind of seeing everybody from all those surrounding states just coming all together for that one show. Definitely smaller than some of the shows we've been to throughout the year, but everyone was just so friendly and so nice and so interested in seeing some of the new stuff they haven't seen yet this year.
Yeah, and you got to see a few of our Stahls TV Morning Show watchers, so that's exciting as well. And always, we're getting to the end of this year, but we start in January kicking off a lot of our trade shows. So I know this year, Stahls will still be at the NBM show in Charlotte, and then we have a whole range of shows kicking off 2018. So we look forward to seeing you guys to those shows as well.
Of course.
Before we kick into this morning's show, we'll look at Look of the Week. So this one comes from Suzanne Shipley Nichols, and it's a really, really cool glitter flake design. I absolutely love the way that she created a custom pattern out of this.
Yeah, and it's definitely cool that you can tell she used the tacking method for this, or else this would have totally been very hectic to line up. But I love this artwork, and it's very unique being able to incorporate her own kind of pattern in there by just dropping in little mini footballs into the large text. But really unique. I like it a lot. Yeah, so since this is a two-color glitter flake, she actually went ahead and took little pieces of the clip art and punched them through that back end, so that way that both of the layers are touching the fabric. And then like you had mentioned, she did go through and tack. So one trick that we use a lot for multicolor layering here at Stahls TV is to tack the back layer. So I assume here it would be either the white or the red. So tack that background layer, let's say it's the white, for only a few seconds, and then overlay the red, because that way you're not going to have any trouble with shrinking, and it's going to make the alignment really, really easy. And I like the fact that the blue shirt's showing through too, so it really creates almost a three-color effect. It's really neat. Yeah, I like how she utilized that as well. Great. So if you want to send your Look of the Week to us, we pull them every week from emailing us at tv@stahls.com. We pull them from the Stahls Facebook page on Saturday's Show and Tell. And then you can also tag us on Instagram at Stahls TV. So we look forward to seeing all of those every week that you guys share with us, specifically here on the Show and Tell. Speaking of Facebook, as a lot of you know that are watching on Facebook Live, we are tuning in on Facebook Live this week. Starting in November, Facebook Live will be the only place that you'll be able to watch the morning show. So if you're watching us today, right now on GoToWebinar, Live will only be on Facebook. Of course, we'll have the recording up on YouTube on Mondays as well, so you'll be able to watch that Monday afternoon once we get that loaded up onto our YouTube and Stahls TV site. But Live, for commenting questions, we're going to go ahead and put all that on Facebook. So we look forward to you guys joining us there on the Stahls All Things Heat Printing page. I think that's it for business as usual, but what we want to do first is Make It Monday. We have an exciting new product, two new products actually launching with Stahls today for the CAD-CUT realm. So one is going to be called a silicone product that we're going to be showing you here today in Make It Monday, and the other one's a brand new reflective. So those are going up soon on the Stahls.com website. Let's go ahead and show you guys the silicone product. It's really, really cool. I'm excited to show you and Make It Monday. All right, so welcome to Make It Monday. Today, as I mentioned, we're going to be showcasing a new product called Silicone 200. And so this product is really cool, and it creates a silicone raised effect. And so if you've been watching a lot of the sportswear brands in the market, similar to places like Nike, Under Armour, they started to show up these logos that people were really interested in, and it gave a silicone rubberized look and feel on the garment. It just gave that really cool raised dimension effect. So now there's a cuttable product that comes in a roll that you can cut on your vinyl cutter, comes in a variety of colors, and so you can cut that and create that effect. Now, in addition to the fashion effects that we're going to see on this left chest design on this shirt, it's also really great for decorating items where you were once worried about dye migration. So some of those sublimated fabrics like a digi camo or any kind of textured heather, hex type fabric. Now these can be decorated with this product because it's going to help inhibit the dyes from coming through. So I've gone ahead and loaded my polyester
jacket onto my platen here. I'm going to take my logo in the Silicone 200 and go ahead and line it up as my left chest graphic. Again, going about 3 inches over and about 7 inches down for this men's shirt. Once I have the logo lined up, I'm going to go ahead and press this. This applies at a low temperature of 290 degrees for 10 seconds. So again, it makes it really perfect for performance wear applications because it allows you to press at that lower temperature and a lower dwell time. It is going to be a completely cold peel, so if I'm pressing a lot of these, I would want to press them and let them sit aside because I do want to make sure it cools down completely before I try to peel back that carrier. Since I'm here at the heat press, I can go ahead and pull this off and use a little bit of the silver to kind of cure this a little bit. One thing I really like about this on a high-end jacket like we're printing here with this zip-up jacket is that it creates a really high-end look like we're seeing in some of those really professional sports warm-ups and sportswear items like the Under Armour and the Nike. So pairing together that textured effect. I may have got a little bit of lifting here from when I pulled it off of the platen and wasn't careful. So I'll go ahead and peel that back there. And I can always realign that up. So if you're moving this from the heat press, you want to make sure to be careful not to pull that off there. So I'll press this for another 5 seconds to cure it down.
What's nice about that too is that adhesive is still going to be intact, right? So if we just tack that real quick with that cover sheet on there, we won't have to worry about that falling off in the wash.
Absolutely. All right, so we have a completed design there. And though you're not able to see it here just yet on the video, but it does create a really, really cool raised effect. Has that kind of silicone rubberized look that makes it really unique for the garment. So helps to create that high-end look on these items. And again, it's really good for some of those sportswear applications as well as if you're decorating some sublimated garments, some of these polyester shirts that we're actually going to talk about a little bit today in the blank apparel guide. But that gives you a great look. Like I mentioned, the product is called Silicone 200. It'll be available on the Stahls.com website later today. So good stuff there. New products launching. We're excited. We have a lot of stuff coming on. I think Josh has mentioned it in some morning shows throughout the end of the year. So stay tuned to the morning show and Stahls.com for those. But I think it's time to dive into our main episode. So I asked Jenna to join me over here at the heat press so we can go through some different items and talk about blank apparel suppliers. So do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so like you said, being able to have a higher perceived value in the garments that you offer is very lucrative to your business, not only because it really makes that finish that you're putting on the shirt really stand out, but it's just great to have other options. So very retail inspired looks is some of the things we're going to be seeing today, as well as some sports jerseys and accessories. So some of the things that we see very popular in that sports industry, if you're decorating for teams and leagues, are the styles of jerseys that you're choosing. So a lot of football teams or soccer teams want to look as if it is a professional finish, right? So being able to choose blank suppliers that offer that look in their jerseys is something that your customers are looking for if they're asking you to recreate it for them.
Yeah, so here we're looking at 2 jerseys that are actually from Teamwork Athletic, decorated with thermofilm. And Teamwork Athletic really kind of sets the bar for team uniforms and jerseys because they have a variety of jerseys from baseball, softball, volleyball, football. They're always kind of looking for new styles, and they also have a lot of your general basic styles to get started. So they have a huge range. I just want to take a look at their website really quick so that we can take a look at what they have available from Teamwork Athletic. So as you can see on the Teamwork website, they have a variety of options: baseball, basketball, cheer, football. You can really get creative with what you're selling. I'll go ahead and dive into basketball since that will be the next sports season kicking off after we get through some of these fall sports that are coming towards the end here. So here I can see a variety of items from warm-up gear to jerseys to reversibles. And they've got some unique styles so far that they've already got kind of the traditional, what has the some reversible options, some different piping down the side. They have some that have more of a unique pattern down the side, like this women's medal jersey here. So you can see they have a variety of options available. Now we're looking at the team uniform and jersey market. Teamwork Athletic is definitely one of the main suppliers that we see a lot of decorators use. In addition to them, we see a lot of people going to places like Augusta Sportswear for both fan wear, warm-ups, and other team uniforms, similar to things like soccer or baseball. So we'll go ahead and look at some of their sports options. Here I'm going to dive in, let's say, to volleyball. And you can see they have a variety of styles available a little bit more of the performance niche type of look. And one thing I really want to point out nice about Augusta is they have a style of printed t-shirts. And so earlier I was talking a little bit about dye sublimation and different styles of blanks there. And one thing about the Augusta website and the Augusta garments is that they offer a roller printed option. So these pattern type of hex, digi-camo style garments that they have available are actually roller printed. So separate from dye sublimation, these you don't have to worry about dye migration. So you can use any type of product like CAD-CUT thermofilm on these without any issues of the dyes coming through. Another popular supplier that I wanted to mention is really, really great for warm-ups is Holloway. So Holloway has a really keen, unique fashion look on the sportswear market. And so if you're looking to kind of emulate looks for your sportswear brand that are high-end, kind of looks similar to what you see from something like Under Armour or Nike, I would definitely recommend checking out what's available from Holloway because I think they really lead the way in fanwear items and different things like this.
Yeah, and I like that they keep the decorator in mind whenever they're manufacturing this type of apparel because they know someone's going to be printing on it. They're going to need to do left chest logos, so or anything on the sleeves or the back prints or the full fronts. They always keep that decorator in mind to make it very easy for either screen printing or heat printing or even embroidery.
Yeah, and one thing about the Holloway blanks is I think they really create a design out of the garment. I mean, the garment alone is eye-catching, and so it really just speaks volume for being able to add decoration to it as well.
Absolutely. All right, so that pretty much wraps up everything that goes into blank suppliers for sports and jerseys and all of that. But that kind of leads us into printing fanwear fashionably for those fans that are attending all those sports events. So our first looks are from District Maid, who is sold by SanMar. And they always have some trendy finishes. So this is a tank that has a very nice color block effect. And they leave this area all open so that you can get a nice flat surface to do a nice full front print. And then they also incorporated that type of style into a quarter sleeve shirt. All right, so those are two nice options to pair if you're doing for a school. And then they do a more of a basic style t-shirt that is a V-neck and very thin and lightweight, and it kind of has that slouchy effect to it that is very retail inspired and very sought after for customers.
Yeah, and so these are all part of the District Maid line from SanMar. And so one thing about SanMar specifically is they sell, and we can talk a little bit through this when we go through the website, but they sell what we consider economy style blanks, and then they also sell more higher end like the District Maid. And so one thing to consider when you're purchasing a blank garment is to decide whether you want to go to a economy blank or what I would consider more of a higher quality blank. And so we look at economy blanks, and this is a Port & Company blank from SanMar. And a style like this, it's a very kind of boxy, your standard 100% cotton 50-50 t-shirt. These are the ones that you're probably likely seeing from somewhere, like if you're selling to anywhere that's a mass produced. So we see this a lot for school apparel. We see this a lot in group apparel and because they're trying to find an inexpensive blank. And I understand that there are some buyers that buy specifically on economy priced items and they need a lower budget items, and that's really where these items fit. Now, if you're looking to build a brand and you're looking to do more custom t-shirts in that way, another thing to consider is some of these higher end garments like the District and the District Maid line from SanMar, because when I upgrade to these garments, of course I'm leaving a $2 blank and now I'm upgrading to maybe a $5 or $6 blank, but the quality I'm getting is so much more significant because these blank styles are so much softer, they're more fitted, they're more comfortable, and they're just something that somebody is more likely to wear multiple times. When I see some of those boxy standard t-shirts like we saw here, of course I see this as a group t-shirt, but a lot of people aren't going to wear this outside the house very often. And so especially if you're printing for like promotional products or items like that, then this is where you may want to consider a higher quality blank where it's going to be seen more. There'll be higher impressions because the wearer that got that promotional product item is going to wear it more often.
Right, and it gives you a different approach too if you're trying to reach a prospect that you may be wanting to decorate apparel for. So, and that gives you the good, better, best option that we always talk about in the morning show whenever you're choosing apparel. So this 100% cotton t-shirt would be our good option because you can do a lot with it at a low price. Now, if you wanted to give them other options, we would do this as a good option because that gives us that blend that softens it up a little bit with that polyester in it. And then we would offer something like this as a best option because we're integrating a charcoal effect that's very popular in the industry, and then also the heather kind of woven throughout it, or marble, I guess you would say, for this type of t-shirt. And this is actually from Bella Canvas. But there are a lot of apparel manufacturers that are incorporating this style because they know it's so sought after, so it's very easy to find too.
Yeah, and so one thing to consider is we see a lot of decorators that often look at, I'm trying to find a supplier for t-shirts local to me, or the most inexpensive, or where can I get it the fastest. But some other things to consider are, how do you present your garments, and choosing your blanks, how do you choose them for your specific market, your specific target audience? Do you go with a higher end blank because that's your brand image, and then look for a supplier that offers those blanks that fit your market or your niche?
Right, and then also being able to show the prospect the difference in those and how much of a higher perceived value it is, and it's something that they may be reselling or maybe offering as fundraisers. They know that they're more likely to spend more money for this because it's more lighter weight, it's more fashionable, so they may want to choose this one instead.
Yeah, good point. So I'll give you these back. We'll take a look at the SanMar website just to kind of review some of the options that they have available. And so the items that we just talked about, Port & Company, District, District Maid, those items are all available from SanMar. And one thing about SanMar is that they have a wide range of products. And so we'll talk a lot today about outerwear, kids wear, caps, activewear. I mean, there's so many options, workwear, bags. SanMar offers all of that. And so it's kind of an all-purpose warehouse for you to get all of your blanks. Now, they do have some of those brands that I had mentioned, excluding the District Maid, the District, and the Port & Company line. So it allows you to get more fashionable blanks if you're looking for something that's a little bit more fashion forward for spirit wear or just for your brand image. You can see some of the styles that they have here and those options, but there are a ton of styles available from SanMar. One other style that they have that's really, really popular is that they have a brand called Sport Tech, and you often hear a lot of decorators that have been in the industry for a long time talking about this brand because it is very fashion forward performance wear at a very reasonable price, and so it allows you to get some of these looks like you're seeing here on the screen that are similar to Nike, Under Armour, and some of those higher end blanks, but at a much more inexpensive cost. And so it allows you to really gain some efficiency there and be able to make some high profits. In addition to this, they do have some high-end brands that I like to pull out and mention. If you're doing workwear, the Cornerstone or the Red Cat brand are really, really great for high-quality workwear for different municipalities or different groups. In addition to the performance wear we just showed you in the Sport Tech line, some of this Nike Golf, the OGO, New Era, all of those are some more high-end items as well. So the Nike Golf, the OGO for performance wear, New Era for some really cool hats, and we'll talk about that with headwear, and then you can see a variety of their other brands for some of their more economy styles, so the Hanes, the jerseys, the Fruit of the Loom. If you're really into some of those brands where you want some of the more economy styles and you like to purchase those, you can get those for them as well. So really great for an all-purpose supplier.
Right. And before we move on to the next exciting one, let's go ahead and answer some of the questions that are coming in through Facebook. We have from Edgar, what website was the clothing supplier? So far we went through Holloway, Augusta, and Teamwork Athletic. And we also went through Bella Canvas, or no, SanMar. What were some of the other ones that were brought up? That's it?
That's it so far.
So those are the top
More
four
to come.
so far. And then we're having some questions come in through GoToWebinar, so we'll go ahead and take a few of those.
Going back to your Make It Monday, they'd like to know what kind of cutting settings would there be for the Cameo, and will that cut the Silicone 200?
Okay, so we haven't yet tested that on the Silhouette Cameo yet, but we'll definitely start doing that once it's added to the site. We'll have all those cut settings for any cutter that it can be cut on.
And they'd also like to know, does it come in colors?
It does, yeah. So the Silicone product comes in a variety of colors, white, black, royal, sky blue, and red. Okay, looks like we got all the questions so far, and that product will be available on Stahls.com website today. Denny, we're not sure if it's going to be through Target transfers just yet, but we'll make the recommendation for that product there in the UK.
Right, and I just kind of wanted to elaborate on Travis's comment there. So it definitely depends, I think, on the market or niche that you're selling it to. Of course, if you're selling to sports, they'll pretty much do any 100% cotton t-shirt. But if you ever get into trendier markets like boutiques or anything, they want something that's a little more lightweight and fashion forward. So definitely depends on that market or niche. So I appreciate you commenting that in so we could elaborate more.
Yeah, and I think it comes a lot for the cost per impression. So even looking at the style of blank, so more of an inexpensive blank, let's say somebody wears it outside of the house, 2 to 5 times versus maybe a trendier blank that they like. Everybody has their favorite t-shirt they love. Like mine, even if they're boxier t-shirts or larger t-shirts, they tend to be more soft and more comfortable. Those are the ones I feel, that's why I think a lot of people move towards that athleisure legging type style because they like comfort. And so for some people, they may be wearing that other higher end garment more like 8 to 10 times. So from a promotional product standpoint, the brand is going to be seen a lot more with those higher end garments. So good points there. I think both fit each style of market.
Absolutely. All right, so that kind of brings us towards more of those fashion forward pieces that we were talking about there briefly. And we definitely have a lot of those because we love incorporating that into our fan wear. So we have Cavio here. This was done for a gymnastics team. So of course they would love this with that heathered finish in there and also paired with a color block striping on the back. So just being able to incorporate multiple colors in one garment really brings value to that piece. And then of course little extra pieces added to the garment for that boho trend that we see very much in the retail inspired portion of the industry, and that is with that fringe there that's very popular, and being able to pair other boho inspired stuff with that to bring more value to it, such as the boho patterns that we offer.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that Cavio does really well. I think creating some of these trendier pieces is one of them. The second thing is that they have what I would consider styles that go through generations and through different styles, and so they go all the way down from children's apparel, very, very little children's apparel as low as 6 months, 3 months, all the way up to women's apparel, and they have a lot of styles that go across the same blank. And so you'll see a tank top that looks like this that'll be for maybe 12 months or 18 months, and then you'll see that same tank top for a mom or sort of women's apparel. So you can take the same style maybe for spirit wear or dance teams or even just for mommy and me shirts and create a lot of cool blanks that really go through different styles and different age groups. And so that's really one of the best things I think that they do.
Yeah, I agree very much there with that comment. And then also another one is Bella Canvas. So we mentioned that earlier with that marble t-shirt. And they also do very distressed patterns that play very well into the fan wear market and retail inspired pieces. So we have that marble one that we used earlier with a tone on tone look, and then we really wanted to bring out that distressed effect, so we used a distressed screen print transfer. So this is something that I feel I would walk into a retail store and see, and that is what your customers are seeing. So that makes it very sought after. So to have a piece like this in your shop and make it seem like you can do that for them as well, it really catches their eye.
Yeah, and so these are from Bella Canvas specifically, and Bella Canvas does a lot of really great things, and so if you want to grab that flowy t-shirt there, they have a lot of styles that are kind of your basic t-shirt, but they're more of what I would consider a higher quality t-shirt, similar to what we saw from that District and District Maid brand. And so they're a little bit softer, they're really lightweight, they're very, very comfortable fit. Now, of course, this is going to be it's more of around that $6 price point for some of their t-shirts that are a little more higher end versus the $2 t-shirts. So this is where I think it really fits your market and your brand when you're thinking about choosing a blank. And then those textured styles that they have, those also follow a lot of the lines of branding. And so if you want if you're looking for customers that maybe are looking for some of this next level trendy type stuff, maybe you're fitting that millennial high school to junior to college age range and you want something that's more retail inspired, I think these blanks definitely do that.
I agree. And then another supplier that does that very well is Kraft. And I think this really fits into that athleisure market that you were talking about. And if you want to elaborate a little bit about these pieces.
Yeah, so we're looking at sportswear, spirit wear, fitness apparel. Kraft does a lot of that very well, and this is a lot for the women's and children's market. They also sell some for menswear as well, but if you're looking for some of that more niche-y style stuff where it's more next level, this is some unique athleisure style. So I'll take a look at these yoga pants along paired with a sports ball top. This has all been decorated actually with our foil product in a class that we recently did. They have some unique jersey styles, some more of the oversized jersey types that are still incredibly popular, and they're always kind of looking at next level of what's popular. So brands like Boxer Kraft, Bella Canvas, Cavia. They're looking at what's popular in the retail sector, and they're very quickly turning that to market in the wholesale market. And that's one thing that really allows wholesale decorators to thrive. And I think it's really what's growing.
Most definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. And I like how they took that really popular sports jersey and made it into something that's very flowy and comfortable for people to wear, because it had always been popular. Even whenever I was still in school, I would see it on campus. And so being able to see it done completely different, and it's more of a not a full 100% polyester mesh, but a spandex mesh. So that just made it more flowy and more comfortable to wear. And another brand, of course, that does this well is J America. So they have incorporated fun, bright colors into their lines that are really nice, because you can pair a lot of fun heat transfer vinyl colors with it too, and different finishes to really catch the consumer's eye. I love how they incorporated the heather also.
Yeah, J America has a lot of really fashion-forward blanks, and so this is where we're looking again at some more unique, next-level, boutique-inspired, fashion-forward blanks. I like the heathered styles. They have some cool glitter tee, sweatshirts, yoga pants, oversized shirts, so they're kind of leading the way in what I would consider like the fashion-forward spirit wear items too, so another great brand there. The color blocking is always really cool on the styles they have. I've seen some glow hoodies, just some really cool next level stuff that allows you to really reach some niche markets.
Right, and then of course we have Pennant Sportswear, who you hear a lot about from us, especially whenever we were doing the fall fan wear stuff. And you can kind of see some of their garments displayed on the wall. So the bright neon blue tank that we're seeing up there is a big hit through Pennant Sportswear, and as well as the scuba neck hoodie that is very popular too. So that just kind of brings the neck up a little bit, similar to a turtleneck, but it's still connected to a hoodie. It's not really tight around the neck, so it's still very comfortable fitting. So that was a really popular garment whenever we showcase that in the fanwear guide.
Yeah, we'll take a look real quick at the Pennant Sportswear website, because I just want to talk a little bit about Pennant Sportswear. So they are located on the East Coast, and they have a variety of locations. And so you'll see some of the next level type of performance hoodies. Jenna had mentioned the scuba hoodie that kind of gives you that next level look. So this is a heathered hoodie that has kind of that unique neckline there with the scuba neck. It has some piping and striping there on the garment. And they just have a lot of really unique, I would say, sportswear warm-up style items. So if you're looking to if you're in the sportswear and spiritwear marketing and you're looking for some next level stuff of what's really popular, they do that with this type of, even this crew neck, this inside out. They're looking at what's kind of next level in that sports and spirit market, and they're going towards that there. And so they have a lot of unique items. I personally really like some of these short sleeve hoodies that you're seeing there on the men's logo there. So even just some of that unique stuff. This is where I see a lot of decorators say, I want something next level, I want something more unique. Where can I get it? So places like Pennant Sportswear will allow you to have that.
Absolutely, and there are definitely some more out there, and we have that listed on our blank supplier guide. We're definitely going to be updating that for this year's blank supplier guide, so definitely be sure to check that out. Before we move on to the next one, we want to take some questions from GoToWebinar.
Kent would like to know, which company would you recommend for fanwear?
For fanwear, I would recommend looking at a variety of suppliers. I would definitely look at SanMar, Boxer Kraft, Pennant Sportswear for sure. They offer a lot of men's and women's styles, so I think that's a good range. If I was looking for just one supplier and I wanted a range of all styles from children's apparel up to adult, I would probably go with SanMar, simply because they have such a wide range of products available. It will allow you to hit all customer types and all markets that are going to be buying fanwear.
Right, or if you already have an account with a reseller such as S&S Activewear, they also offer a wide variety and range of from kids all the way up to adult for that style.
Yeah, and that's a good point. So we're talking a lot about brands here, but keep in mind there are a lot of these brands sell through distributors. So I saw the question come in on Facebook about, does Cavio sell through SanMar or other wholesalers? Currently, Cavio does only sell through direct, so you would have to set up an account with them and purchase products, and I believe they ship only out of California. So I believe, if I'm wrong with that, you guys can type into Facebook here, but I believe they only have the one warehouse. Now places like Boxer Kraft, Kraft, Bella Canvas, J America, they all sell through wholesalers. So I can buy all of those products from places like S&S Activewear. I can purchase some of the products from people like Alpha Broder, which are more of the distributors of the product. And so keep that in mind. I've even seen some decorators that maybe don't have wholesale licenses set up yet purchasing some of these products from places like Jiffy Shirts or blankapparel.com. Those are some different options specifically for like the Bella t-shirts where they sell through a lot of distributors.
Correct. And then Chanel, the spelling of Kavio is Kavio, short and sweet.
Yep. And that was definitely the shirt for the pink fringe tank top there.
Yes. All right, so we'll go ahead and move along to our outerwear section, which is very popular, especially now, since it's starting to get some chilly weather, especially up here in PA. But these are a great idea of some fun and also corporate or municipality type styles of outerwear that you can get.
Yeah, and so outerwear, if you're not printing and selling this today, absolutely start adding this to your lineup. Right now is the time. It allows you to make a lot of high margin profits. But just like we saw through SanMar, these are two items from the Port & Company line. And so SanMar has a huge range of outerwear available. They have Port & Company, they have a lot of their workwear jackets, they have soft shell jackets, just a huge range of reflectives like we see with the safety jacket here that has some of that reflective striping down the back. A lot of options that are available. Now there are some specialty outerwear blank suppliers too, like Charles River or Game Day. We see a lot of their items being used because they're known for outerwear, and that's really why a lot of people go to Charles River too.
Right, and one that I want to point out because they were just at the show at Everything Embroidery in Chattanooga, and that is Wild About Me Blank. So they have a lot of fun outerwear, very fun vests that still have print areas on them, so you can still either embroider or heat print or screen print on them. So Wild About Me Blanks is very fun for that boutique and very fashion forward outerwear styles.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about, Jenna, some of those boutique inspired blanks. And so Wild About Me was one that you had just mentioned. I'll go ahead and pull them up here. There we go. Oh, power down. So Wild About Me blanks is another option to sell and market your products to them. So they have a variety of products available. They have some of those styles that you had mentioned with the flannel, some unique items there. Some other options that we have would be the wholesale boutique, the wholesale accessory market, wholesale boutique that we show a lot here on the Stahls TV Morning Show. If you guys tuned in a few weeks ago, we did have a whole episode on bags. So if you didn't get to see that, you can watch that recorded episode on stahlstv.com. But wholesale boutique also has a variety of these more boutique styled items. So that's kind of what I would consider boutique for that. So wholesale boutique, wholesale accessory market has a lot of blank items. Wild About Me Blank has a lot of children's apparel boutique styled items. And then Ruffle Girl was another one I think that you came across at the recent show as well.
Yeah, and that's actually one that I wanted to bring up whenever we were talking a little bit about the children's apparel. So Kavio is a great one. And then of course, if you're broadening a little bit out more into just sticking to that market, Ruffle Girl is another one because they have a lot of unique bell-bottom style leggings, and then even a lot of course, ruffles, hence the name. But it definitely is a great blank supplier. And if you go to their website, you'll probably see where they're actually monogramming those blanks for you. So if that's not something, maybe embroidery isn't something that you're doing in-house, you can outsource that with them and then maybe personalize it even more with some heat transfer vinyl in-house. So you have two options there. You can just buy the blanks, or you can have them monogram for you, embroidery or screen print or heat transfer vinyl with them too.
Yeah, and a lot of these boutique style companies have everything from children's apparel to women's accessories to bags to wristlets to game day accessories. I mean, there's so many options available from a lot of these styles, and they're just unique to what you can sell. And so keep in mind all of the suppliers that we are recommending here today. The majority of them are currently available on stahlstv.com under the resources section if you download the blank apparel guide. We'll be updating that shortly to include some of these more boutique styles that we just brought back with us from the recent trade show. So that should be up this week too.
Absolutely.
All right, so who else have we missed? I think headwear is the only thing we haven't covered just yet.
Right.
And so headwear is one of those things that's covered by a lot of the large wholesale suppliers like SanMar, S&S Activewear. AutoCap is one that does headwear really, really well because they offer that's what they do. They're specialty into that. And so they offer a lot of flat headwear styles. They offer a lot of soft crown. They offer a lot of 5 and 6 panel hats. So many options, prints, patterns, solids, color blocked effects. And so AutoCap is definitely the main person I would recommend if you're looking for next level headwear, and that's really where you want to compete in your market.
Absolutely, and they do unique ones too. So the stuff with different fabrics that you don't typically see that has patterns in them that you can incorporate into your business. And then also they're doing color block effects where it's a solid part for the head, and then for the bill it's a completely different color too. So I think that's really cool to incorporate for the schools that you're decorating for.
Yeah, so a lot of good options there for blank apparel suppliers. I know we have definitely routed off quite a few of them. If you have a favorite that we haven't mentioned that you think everybody needs to know about, make sure you comment that here in the Facebook feed, because I think that's a really great way for other people and for ourselves to learn. Obviously, we learn a lot from trade shows and from online research and just learning from other decorators on blank apparel suppliers. If you have somebody that you think absolutely they have these next level blanks that I love to use, or they're inexpensive, or they're great service, recommend those here in the comments, and we'll make sure to add those to our blank apparel guide as well.
For sure.
I think we've got all the questions here on Facebook so far that I have seen. Joe, we got any other questions coming in on GoToWebinar?
Jamie would just like to confirm, is it rufflegirl.com?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's two out there. There's one that's Ruffle Butts, and then there's one that's Ruffle Girl.
Yes.
So two different ones, but they both offer really great blanks.
And then I see Travis recommending Outdoor Caps, another great option for headwear as well. That's another company that does the specialty, so I appreciate you recommending that one there. And I think that's it. So we appreciate you guys joining us today. We will be back next week with the Stahls TV Morning Show, and we'll see you then.
See ya.